You know, post-apartheid South Africa in the role of writers is interesting in that for a very long time, the main framing of most of the writers, the framework was apartheid. They would discuss it, their role was oppositional often, but with the ending of apartheid, there was a certain problem in some ways because they were identified with the struggle. They'd been unmoored in a sense because all their writing was based on a system which no longer existed. And so I think for a while, some of the writers have had a hard time adjusting to that. You see that quite clearly in Ethel Fugard's work, which has been difficult, and you know, he's lost his moorings in some way. But we see with somebody like Gordimer, in this book anyway, an attempt to try to reframe the debate. So she's talking about post-apartheid South Africa, but she's also really talking about the different degrees of otherness and exclusion. So here we have an Arab in South Africa, somewhat excluded. She's playing around with the contradictions, in a sense, of post-apartheid South Africa, where people are trying to find their feet. But something which I think, if we go back to the book, and is important, is that apartheid not only cut off black people from white people, but cut off black South Africans from the rest of Africa. And so there isn't a great sense amongst black South Africans of African solidarity. What you're seeing really is a sense of South Africans discovering Africa. And a lot of that is opposition to immigrants. So the immigrants that are coming in often have a very, very hard time being accepted within South African society. So, and that's another theme in the book, that he's this Arab in South Africa, and he's not welcomed. I mean, it's not a case, and he's also trying to emigrate somewhere more welcoming, like the US, rather than another African country. And you've seen a lot of violence towards immigrants in South Africa, and a lot of exclusion towards immigrants. And that, again, is a byproduct somehow, you know, of apartheid, where people really cut off from each other and from the rest of Africa.